fresh one sheet. Here's a little more to know about Trump's pick to lead the FBI, who has his confirmation hearing this week. In the podcast he used to host, you will notice that Kash Patel is wearing a very distinguished pin there. So really easy to see. Has a logo on it, $K$H. Get it? Kash Patel, Cash Money. This is a logo that Kash Patel has actually tried to trademark. He sold all manner of Cash branded merchandise at his Fight with Cash website, which is now rebranded as the Cash Foundation. You could get yourself a deck of playing cards, quote, the collector's item of the century. In one version, the King card belongs to Cash, the distinguished wizard and corruption combatant, while the Joker is Hillary, the dark-hearted seeker of absolute power. There are Cash shirts and Cash hoodies and Cash socks and Cash scarves. There's something called an Orange Man Bad Punisher license plate. If you're feeling extra spendy, there's an Orange Man Bad steel wall art. Steel wall art, only $250. Act now. Quote, perfect for every man cave, exclamation point. There's Cash wine, a six-pack of Cabernet Sauvignon on sale for just $243.99. Hints of blackberry, dark chocolate, plum, and a touch of French oak. Mr. Patel has shilled for a conservative cell phone carrier. Use promo code CASH for a free month of service. He has shilled for a Christian payment processor. He has shilled for what Kash Patel says is, quote, finally, a credit card for conservatives.
Patriots are fighting back against the liberal agenda with Coin, America's first credit card built for conservatives.
Kash Patel also hawks pills that he says can reverse the COVID vaccination. Reverse the get healthy. The pills are made by a company whose co-founder has been a defendant in an apparently ongoing class action lawsuit filed by people who say they were overcharged for diet pills. But, quote, order this home run kit to rid your body of the harms of the vax, says your would-be next director of the FBI. Then there's his kids' books. Patel has written a trilogy of kids' books featuring the evil Hillary Clinton, who tries to undermine the rightful election victory of King Donald, and Cash, the distinguished discoverer, a wizard who uncovers the plot. Later characters include the Baron von Biden and his scheming assistant, Kamala. At one point, Kash Patel signed some copies of one of these children's books with the slogan of the QAnon movement, the movement that claims Democrats are a cabal of cannibalistic, Satan-worshipping pedophiles who eat children. Kash Patel doesn't just do stuff for the kids, though. His most recent non-kids book is called Government Gangsters, which contains an appendix with a list of names. Members of the executive branch deep state. 60 names on the list, including President Biden and Vice President Harris, various Biden and Obama administration officials, as well as obscure Trump administration officials whom Kash Patel feels have wronged Donald Trump in some way. Kash Patel notes that this list of 60 names is not exhaustive. For example, it does not spell out individual members of what he calls the, quote, entire fake news mafia press corps. But it is good to know that the potential next director of the FBI has himself a starter target list ready to go, published, printed out in black and white. We reached out to the White House for comment from Mr. Patel on some of these things. We have not heard back. I know there is a dump truck full of news coming out of this new administration every day. I know we cannot focus on everything all at once, but this seems worth focusing on, considering that Kash Patel has his hearing to become the next FBI director this week. Joining us now is Senator Adam Schiff, Democrat of California. He's a member of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate, which means he will be able to question Mr. Patel at his confirmation hearing for FBI director this week. Senator, it's really nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Good to be with you.
So I've tried to shed a little bit of light on the context of Mr. Patel's nomination, what's going on at the FBI and the Justice Department right now, and also a little bit of his history. Do you feel like Mr. Patel's history and his qualifications or lack thereof for this position are well understood by the Judiciary Committee?
I think they're well understood. The question, as with so many of these nominees who shouldn't be in a million years confirmed for their positions, will it just be Democrats that oppose them, or will Republicans also acknowledge what should be plain? Someone like Kash Patel is not fit to run an agency of this significance. The other added context that I would mention, in addition to what you went through, is the FBI not only is, I think, the premier law enforcement agency in the country, but the director of the FBI is one of the most powerful officials in the federal government, and a lot of the work of the FBI is pretty unreviewable. That is, if the FBI director decides to conduct an investigation, or in the case of Epic Times, not investigate a potentially corrupt or money laundering party, there's not a whole lot of review that goes on, at least not until you get to the stage where someone gets indicted and then they have the due process of a court proceeding. But it is an enormously powerful position where you want someone of stature, someone of independence, someone of character, someone, frankly, like Christopher Wray, who I didn't always agree with, but had all of those attributes. The last person you want is someone like Kash Patel, because in addition to being dishonest, untrustworthy, lacking in character, all the things that you went through, his only real qualification is he was the guy in the first Trump administration that you went to when no one else would do the dirty work the president wanted done. He was the guy, and he therefore rose very quickly through the ranks. That is not who you want in this position.
There have been allegations made in two different settings, two different time periods, about Mr. Patel's involvement with very sensitive, very difficult hostage rescue operations. In one case, he is accused of having jeopardized the investigation, jeopardized the rescue operation, by saying that permission had been obtained from a foreign government for the U.S. to have aircraft in their airspace, when in fact that permission had not been obtained. In another case, he is accused of having jeopardized a potential rescue by publicly announcing it before it was clear that the people who were being rescued were actually safely in U.S. custody. Those, to me, seem like very nonpartisan, very much just national security red flags that I wonder if you perceive some of your Republican colleagues on the committee as potentially having concerns about those things, even if they are otherwise sympathetic to the way Mr. Patel has lined himself up as Trump's sort of enforcer and minister of vengeance.
Well, I think they're absolutely concerned about exactly those kind of things. And one of the two situations you mentioned, according to Secretary Esper, Defense Secretary Esper, I think in his book, Patel is believed to have essentially lied about whether we had permission to fly into the country in which the rescue operation was going to take place. That had to be delayed while they had to confirm whether, in fact, this was true. If you can't trust someone in these urgent situations, whether it's a hostage rescue or it's reports of a terrorist act that might be committed, if you can't trust the FBI director in that room, people are going to get hurt. And so you need someone of character, you need someone that you can rely upon. You don't want someone who is endlessly self-promoting, self-aggrandizing, claiming they had positions they didn't, claiming they got authorizations they didn't, or fabricating things, blaming the government, in this case the FBI, for January 6th. Patently false claims. That we're even considering him is such a dramatic lowering of the bar from the first term. I think when you get past Matt Gaetz, this is the most not only unqualified but disqualified candidate for any of these positions, and he has competition for that.
Yeah, for sure, to say the least. Senator Adam Schiff, really appreciate you making time to be here with us tonight. Nice to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
All right, got more news ahead. Stay with us.